Good morning, everybody. It's Monday on Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works, and I'm Sally, your Monday vlogger. Here's the question. Let me see if I can get this all in here. Regain. Good topic. What is your definition of regain? Do you fear it? What checks and balances do you have in place to combat it? Oh, don't do that. Combat. Regain. Did your bariatric surgeon warn you? Hold on. Hold on. I got to read the next part. Warn you or suggest to you that regain is normal and expected. Have you battled regain on your journey? Okay, regain. Regain's a big topic when you're losing too. I mean, when you're getting to that last stretch of sliding into home towards your goal, you start to have anxiety about, well, hey, you're anxious about when is your body going to stop? Will it get to goal? And then if it gets to goal, does it know to stop then? And what are you supposed to do? Then you jump past that and you're thinking about regain. Everybody talks about regain. What about regain? Do we have to have regain? And I went and searched out an answer, quite honestly, because I was thinking that when your body hit goal, somehow your metabolism was going to turn its back on you again and be impossible to fight with again, like it had been my whole life. And that regain was an inevitability because you would have no control over it not happening, even if you ate exactly the same way as you did when you were losing. I mean, I really thought that somehow chemically your body was going to seize up like a transmission in an engine, and your body was going to creep back up no matter what you did, just like when you couldn't lose weight before, no matter how little you ate or whatever you tried to do. I mean, and especially when you get older like me, you can lose it when you're younger to some degree, but when you hit a certain age, you can kiss it goodbye. It doesn't matter what you do. It is near impossible to lose to lose weight. And that's in your mid 40s. Having said that, I searched that answer out early on, and I discovered that regain doesn't have an automatic switch that just flips on because it's going to do it, because you don't have to. You can stay the same way and eat the same way and do the same things, and you will regain. Forget about it. You are going to regain no matter what. Regain happens because you make different choices, because you relax, because you eat more things that might lead to other things. You might not do as much exercise. Trying to find that place of balance from an all or nothing mentality, which is kind of what I did when I was trying to lose. I was desperate to get to some kind of a goal. And when my mind just went, I don't know what I was saying, but anyway, regain. Um, oh my gosh, that's really scary bad. See what happens when you get to be 54? Um, okay, regain. Well, let me just go on with regain. Regain is something that that generally occurs, but for me, I have been at goal since September, October, November of 2010, and this is spring of 2012. I have not had regain. Do I fluctuate 2 to 3 pounds? Yes, I fluctuate 2 to 3 pounds on a daily basis. Up in the evenings, down in the mornings, even up in the mornings, down the next morning. It depends on, and then of course I'm pretty much a daily weigher, but I use the scale now, not as a torture device, but as a science project. This is my science fair project. Let's see what your body does every day, Sally. Just because we're going to see what it does every day. It takes all the emotion out of it. And basically, all I have to do is say, up a little bit. I can think that I probably ate a little bit of that I shouldn't have eaten, or too much of that I could have had some, but not quite so much. So therefore, tomorrow, the next day, I will not have any of that, and therefore the scale will scoot it back self down a pound or two. But the other fluctuation is water, or whatever else you're holding in your body, which shall remain nameless. So, regain to me is substantial regain. Regain is not your daily fluctuation, your weekly fluctuation. It is going up out of the range that you've set for yourself. For me, I have like a 5 pound range, and I don't panic anymore in that range, between 131 and a half, I can say honestly, to 133 and a half. I'm very comfortable. When it starts to get to 134 and 135, I get a little, you better be watching what you're doing. Let's pay attention. Let's just do a little different eating here for the next few days and really be clean about what you're doing and make sure you're getting your exercise in all the time. So That's how I handle not having regain. I I also attest, for me, success is because I don't eat the standard American diet. I know that a lot of us have had the gastric bypass surgery or whatever surgery you've had, and the only model of eating we have is meat and veg, meat and veg, meat and veg, bread, whatever. But by me taking meat out of the equation for me most of the time, especially early on, it allowed me to shake up how I approach my plate, and I eat differently. And I know that my regain does not happen because of the way I eat. Um, it always keeps my calories in check. It keeps my fat in check, because I eat mostly vegetables, fresh whole foods that I cook from scratch. Legumes, y'all already know how I eat. I don't need to beat a dead horse, but I eat that way. And how fat can I get on massaged kale salad and lentils and some beets and some fruit and some Greek yogurt and a protein bar and a protein shake? Thanks, sweetie. Um, so therefore, I will not have the regain. Now, if I started to eat normal, the next thing you know, it's normal that it used to be normal. A little bread here, a little more carbs there. I'll have carbs, but I don't make them a high priority in my food chain daily. If I eat more like that, then the next thing you know is a chip, is more chips, is more dessert every night, that kind of thing. So, sweetie, I'm trying to make a video. Can you not do that right now? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll do it in a minute. Thank you. My husband's trying to help. You just cut the grass. You get to have a break now. I'll do the sink in just a second. Okay. Um, so I know that for me, that's why regain doesn't happen, because I don't eat in a way that would remind me of the way normal American diet is, which then leads me to the junk food American diet style. That doesn't mean I don't eat sweets, because I do. It doesn't mean that I don't have some half-fat, sugar-free ice cream in my freezer, or some ice cream sandwiches, or some little cookies in the drawer, some mini chocolate chips around the corner, but in moderation. All things in moderation is the way I approach living now. Do I have a glass of wine? Yes, I do. Almost every day I have a little glass of wine. Not every day, but more days than not days. I will have a glass. I don't have a bottle. I have a glass. I have a drink. I don't have a bottle of alcohol. I'll have a drink if I'm going to have, but I'm going to have one of those or the other, and a little bite of cheese and maybe a cracker or two. But when I haven't eaten anything else like that, it all balances itself out. So do you see what I'm saying? By eating the way I eat, I know regain is not going to happen for me right now. If I shifted the way I ate, absolutely. What will happen to me when I move to England? Not too sure. But having said that, sometimes regain is a good thing. And I'm more and more seeing, the further I am out, and the more often I see photos of myself that show how bony my back is, that show that I have my ribs still show, even with the things I have now. Um, I don't think a little regain would be bad for me. And the more comfortable I get with that concept, uh, the more I look back at the pictures I had when I weighed 150, and I think from 134 to 150 is not a big stretch, or even to 145, it would probably repad some of these areas that might make me look a little more youthful. So I'm totally open to regain as a positive and not always a negative. Um, and that's what brings me back to the person I wrote to about regain many, many months ago, and that was Tony Tao of BTV. I wrote her a note and said, please tell me about regain and your experience. Does it mean I'm absolutely going to regain if I don't do anything different? And she said that when she experienced regain, and Janie, it's funny because Janie also said she got down so thin she didn't really care for the way she looked, and that sometimes will happen. And then you come up a little bit and you look a little more less bony, a little less angular, a little more soft, a little more youthful. Everybody needs a little fat padding under their skin, and I don't have any. Some of these places, and it's not so gorgeous. Other places are fine. There's still plenty of loose whatever, but there are places that I look pretty bony. Anyway, the point being is that Tony said it helped her because she took pictures all the way down on her path, and she had a picture of herself at every 5 pound or 10 pound increments, and she knew where she looked the best. And it's funny because I have a photo when I was 150, and it was determined to get lower because I'd been 147. At first I thought that was too bony and but I needed to challenge myself to see, could I really ride this train till it stopped at the station and then get off. And that was my philosophy. And so rode the train to the end of the station. When it stopped, I got off and I was 128, 130, 131. Okay, so I knew 128 was just a flip. But 131, I was very happy with 131. But in looking at everything in the bigger overall picture of my life, I'm very comfortable with the idea of moving back up towards 145. So yes, that would be 10 pounds of regain, 12 pounds of regain, even maybe 15 pounds of regain to 20 pounds of regain. But I don't know, and it's a slippery slope to climb your way back up towards pounds because you don't want to change the way you've trained yourself to eat for health. I eat for my continued good health. I'm sure I could add in some healthy fats. Um, but then you don't want to get on that slippery slope of, this tastes so good. I want to eat this all the time, or more often, or more food every day, because then you could go beyond your regain point that you want to. And that is a definite area of concern. So I think I answered the questions. My bariatric surgeon did not say boo tittle to me about regain. So, and I only got to see him for a short period of time. So, um, and then Kaiser cut the ties with that surgeon's office in DC, and I never had access again. But I think it's really down to you. I believe that if you want to relax and say, I want to live my life, and living your life embraces more meals at restaurants where you don't know what the calorie count or the fat count is, um, more treats, as we would call them, in our normal everyday life, because now you just want to live like a skinny person, but live around the stuff that you said bye-bye to for a long time. And so therefore that might happen. But I don't live around the stuff that used to be around me anymore. And I don't eat the way I used to eat anymore. And I cannot see, as a matter of fact, I think you'd have to hold a gun to my head to make me eat differently. I love the way I eat. I love eating legumes and veggies and fruit and fresh and whole and green. I love it. I love it. So I have totally changed who I am, what my body wants, what my tastes are, and I can't see myself climbing back to where I started because I really am totally disconnected from that way of eating the standard American diet. That's the end of my story. You guys figure out where you want to be and get there. And when regain comes or doesn't come, you'll know that you have some degree of control over it, in my humble opinion. You guys take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.